All right, welcome to part 3 and last part of this workshop on how to eat healthy consistently, and to remind yourself why we're doing this. And this is to enable you to break free from that cycle of setting healthy eating intention on a Monday or at the beginning of the year, only to fall off the wagon a few days later. And finally, like, eat healthy because you are driven by your body and your mind to want to eat healthy foods that are nourishing you, and stop worrying about food, and gain that mind space to invest in other things that are more productive and that are more close to your heart and to your mission, to probably grow a business and impact more lives, so that you can live your best life, basically. So during the day one, part one, we've been looking at what was preventing you from eating healthy consistently, and we've been diving into why diets don't work. And hopefully I have shown you and convinced you that diets is not the way. And even if you like take some more time by yourself and like analyze all the diets that you've done in the past, if today you're not on it, means it didn't work, right? Like, you were not able to sustain it. And so then on day two, we looked at how to make eating healthy a long-lasting habit, and really delve into like the habit science, so that it can become like exciting and enjoyable for you to go through this journey, and not just target the end goal, but just love every single day as you do that. And today I want to take you through the one last piece, that is probably one of the most important one, to eat healthy consistently, especially when shit is gonna hit the fan. I like this expression. Well, I should have like maybe another one which doesn't talks about shit, but the thing is that, yeah, a lot of the time people promise you that your transformation, whether that's for business or health, that it's going to be easy, it's going to be a straight line. But I'm here to be brutally honest with you and tell you that no, it's not. And if we all look at our life and at the past, it has never been a straight line. Whatever goals you've been setting yourself, especially launching a business, growing a business, we all know, is like the roller coaster never ends. And the steepest of roller coaster that you've probably ever been on your life. So it's about acknowledging that this is just a part of life, and having tools and resources to tap into in order to make sure that we rebound faster after those little moments. The reason why we're doing this is for you to really empower yourself, so that you can then empower others with the mission that you have, with the service that or product that you deliver to people through your business. And that's, for me, I'm helping you, but I'm helping you helping more people, because once you start your business with you and your health, you create this strong foundation to then build that building of a business that you want to build, whether that's virtually or in person or in brick and mortar. Without those foundations, inevitably you are going to break down. And that's what I personally went through and do not wish on anyone, because I've put myself in such a point where my body, I was not listening to my body. I was filled up with so much anger and resentment at what my body looked every time looking in the mirror, and always looking for things to fix. And that lasted 10 years of my life that I cannot get back right now. These are in the past, and I made my peace with it. But it really took a lot of mental energy and mental time, and that we don't necessarily are aware of, but it's taking a lot of our life to have that, to leave that power to food, and have the food have the power over us. And once I learned about intuitive eating, that's where everything changed for me. And that's when I got empowered to like reconnect with my body and know that inside of me I have the answers that I need. And not only just with food, but also that empowered me to touch into my intuition for my business as well, for movement, for any areas of my life. And I want to empower you with that too. So today it's more about like having the big picture, the blueprint for you to eat healthy consistently, and basically have all the information that you need to know and to focus on in order to be successful in doing that. And so we've seen that in order to be eating healthy consistently, it comes down to like becoming an intuitive eater, right? And as like I've already shared with you, the different steps that there are in change is like noticing, exploring, and then act. And so noticing, it's like we've seen all about strengthening that muscle of awareness, and that there are so many different like tools and that you can tap into to create that awareness. But just you've seen during this workshop, you were forced to bring your awareness to by just answering prompts, by doing the experiment. You were forced to like practice that muscle. And it's when you do that that you are able to realize your own patterns and your own reaction, and then be empowered to choose whether you want to continue them or not. And so again, everything starts with awareness, so noticing. Then the second part has been to explore. And so the right now it's all about explore. We've been exploring, especially during the part 1, what doesn't work and why, and we've explored why diets don't work and why intuitive eating is now the solution. And now it's about for you to explore how intuitive eating works. And the thing is that deep down you know, like your inner higher loving self knows that you deserve to be at peace around food. Otherwise, you would not be showing up here today. And you know that there is a way, because if others, like such as me and the people that I've been helping, but like hundreds and thousands of people and women on this planet have been able to go from that place of being stuck in that diet mentality cycle to finally feel free. And that's possible for you to wake up energized in the morning, to go to a cafe with friends and order some food without worrying about whether they're going to judge you or not for ordering a burger. When you can like eat a cookie, a master cookie, the one that I share on my Instagram all the time, and just eat half of it and stop halfway through because you're full and satisfied, not because you force yourself to stop, right? And to look in the mirror and truly love the reflection that you see and embrace yourself and your body fully. That is possible for you. It is possible way sooner than you think it is. And intuitive eating is a process to guide you to get there, and it's grounded in different principles. And the first one is more about like letting go, and that's we started already during part 1 to analyze, like in order to let go, we need to understand what is going on and what was not working, and letting go of now the diet mentality and the tools of the diet culture. Because if we want to have a new identity, we need to leave the old one. We can't have both at the same time, right? Like just like we can't have judgment and curiosity. We need to let go of judgment to bring curiosity. And so you need to let go about dieting tools to embrace that new identity, to really trusting yourself. And now I'm gonna just like share a few tools, maybe because maybe you might not be aware of like what are dieting tools. And definitely like when I saw the list the first time, I was like, oh man, actually, yes, I'm using all these tools. Like I was not necessarily on a diet, but constantly my life was revolving around those dieting tools. So some dieting tools, like you can just write down like a tick if like it's at number 1, yes, no, yes, no. First one would be like counting calories. And that's a tool from dieting, like choosing a physical activity based on how many calories they burn. That's another one. Eating foods, like trying to avoid food that are high in carbs, such as bread, pasta, cereals. Another one is classifying food as good or bad. Like for you, there is a very clear picture. This is bad, this is good. If I eat this, then I'm a bad person and I should be punished, and I should only eat healthy salads afterwards. So have condition like this, like if I eat this, then I should eat that. That's another one. Deciding, food based on what you ate previously. That's what I said. And then, for example, also weighing yourself and like on a regular basis. And I remember when I was personally using that tool, that was impacting. I would weigh myself first thing in the morning after going to the toilet naked, so I would be like the lightest version of myself. Of course, like tricking me, because it's not the reality, like the way it fluctuates anyway. But when I was not seeing the number that I wanted on that scale, that impacted me the rest of my day, and not just my day, the rest of my week, because I would like let myself weigh myself once a week, and used to do it every day before. But that had a huge mental toll. And so these are dieting tools that are like creeping into your life without even you noticing it. Even you not being on a diet, you might be subject to these tools. And so with another intuitive eating principle is to learn about getting in touch with your body's wisdom and signal, like we shared in the beginning, about like listening to our hunger, fullness, satisfaction, through like intuitive eating does that through simple tools. And for example, in Nourishing Circle, just after like in the first week, we do an experiment around that. And most people, after just doing that one experiment, it becomes a habit, because it's just that easy that it becomes a habit. They don't set themselves to like take it as an habit, but that's just the way it works. It ends up working. Another principle of intuitive eating is like learn to make peace with food. And by that, I mean by giving giving yourself unconditional permission to eat anything at any time. And I know right now some people might be like, yeah, but if I do that, like my innate body wisdom is going to drive me to eat a box of Oreos and this and that. But no, that's not like what I mean by making like that peace with food, because there is like a deep work that goes into that, so that your body can go from craving that at the moment to actually craving most of the time wholesome, fresh, nourishing food. And that's like what intuitive eating like helps you do. And another one, very important one, is to build yourself a toolbox of tools to cope with your feelings. Because as I've shared as well, like food is just one tool, right? Let's not say it's good or bad. It's just one tool, and the best maybe tool that you currently have, and the only tool that you currently have, because nobody taught you otherwise. And maybe you've never looked at it in this way. And so if you didn't know, you were not aware, you could not look for the answer, right? So when I learned about that through intuitive eating, it just freed me, because I was like, I think I'm just going to be craving like cakes and dough and pastries for the rest of my life, just because it's my French DNA. But no, turns out no. I free myself from that. I still eat it, but I don't have that an intense craving to like binge in the afternoon on this type of food, because now I know that this was just an indication that my body was telling me there is something that needs to be addressed, like a deeper like feeling that I was trying to avoid by giving into food. And so intuitive eating is about mental health and about helping you process emotion. That's a very, very key part of it. And on top of like the mental aspect, there is also the movement, because like the way we sleep, the way we move, and as well as the way we sleep impacts our mood or emotion, which impacts how we eat, right? And so it's about also mastering those elements of our life, all the different pillars of health, and that's all like englobing intuitive eating. And that's what I really love, because I first started coaching about just eating plant-based, and then I coach around movement as well, about mindset. And then when I found intuitive eating and realized that they were like incorporating all this in a way that really made sense, I was like, okay, this is it. And lastly, intuitive eating is about respecting your body and embracing it, and learn to love it without condition, without saying that I will love my body only if I look this certain way. No, because your body needs and deserves your unconditional love, no matter what happens, and no matter ebbs and flows with your weight. It's just a part of life, right? And so this is something really big that also, again, intuitive eating helped me free myself from the judgment that I had in the mirror. And now I don't even remember the last time I was looking at myself and I used to look at my tummy. I know on the external, you might see from Instagram, like, oh, but Ines looks like skinny, like, why would she be like even worried about her body? But yes, I did. And like for 10 years, and nobody thought about that I was feeling this way. And my closest friend didn't even know, because I wanted to act confident, but deep down I wasn't. And so know that what you see on Instagram, again, like it's not a reality of what is happening. And you can look at many interviews of like runway models, like they're also having like self-confidence issues and stuff like that. But there is a way, and you deserve to feel confident right now with the body that you have, and cherish it and look after it. So this was like the explore part that I did a little zoom in on. But now the last like missing piece, and it's about acting. So like notice, explore, act. So how do we get actually ourselves to act? We've seen one thing in part 2 that can help us act on making a change. And it starts with the identity level, right? Like we start looking at how to rewire our identity, and like we scratch the surface, but it's a big part of it, as well as creating habits and experiments to bring those actions. But like, what is going to drive even more so all this? And that is our environment. So when we're not in the right environment, I like the analogy of like, it's like you want to drive a car with your foot on the brake pedal, like you like, it's a counter action, right? And so the habits that we have are very cultural. A lot of them are cultural, and if we want to change them, we need to get ourselves in a different culture so that we can achieve them, and so that the cultures carries you instead of like dragging you down. And a lot of the time, I'm sure that you realize with the prompts as well from part 1 that that culture was like also like we were formatted from the culture of when we were born until like we're 7, like all our childhood. And that gets really ingrained. Even though our parents are not around, we're still obeying by the rules that they taught us if we don't take purposeful action to change them. And like we've also seen that willpower is like, it's really, really weak, and that we should not rely on it for taking action. And like same as like motivation as well, like it's really overvalued because the environment often matters even more. And the thing is that those like quality of like, yeah, belief, like the identity, the habits, the little bit of motivation, maybe a little bit of course of effort, all these qualities, we need them, they matter. But it is really surprising that actually studies have shown that after a long period of time, your personal characteristics tends to get overpowered by your environment. Because if you are in an environment where it's easy for you to make that change. Like, for example, let's say we go now all on a retreat all together, and we wake up at like 7 a.m. and then we do our yoga all together. How easy is it going to be for you to like follow that routine? Because we are all together in that environment. Then you go back home and you have all the patterns at home that have been ingrained over years and years and years. Is going to be really hard, except if you decide to make changes in your environment to make it easier for you, right? It's like, it's easier. I'm sure that you can reflect on a time where like your environment and accountability, more so because the environment is like the people that we surround ourselves with. And so can you remember a time where accountability helped you reach your goal, no matter what area of your life, just a goal? And and how it really helped you when shit hit the fan. Like, how did it help you specifically? Does anybody wants to share? All plugged in, Barbara?
I can share.
Yeah.
If I didn't miss the question, I'm not sure actually. You were talking about the like actions, right? The actions to create environment that support.
The yeah, what if a time where accountability and the environment that you were in helped you reach your goal, especially when like stuff happened, shit hit the fan, and that helped you get back up and like continue.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I like didn't miss the point. Yeah, like I think like planning ahead, some like little things like in your routines or like I'll give the example, like very precise example I'm doing to help myself to stick like with cooking at home and like cooking like healthier food for myself and making it like easier to not like sleep or like I mean, so what I do is and what I did like for the in previous year is that like I have a once a week, like on Sunday I would sit and make a like list of um, food that I want to buy for the week, right? And I would actually have like an approximate list of like when I cook what, and I know that okay, I prefer like I don't want to overwhelm myself, right? And I was thinking, okay, if I would put like new recipe each day, twice a day, for example, I'm not gonna make it. I'm definitely gonna like drive and take some drive through something because I'm just overwhelmed by the cooking and I want to do that. So, and then I would do like, okay, actually, like I'm going to cook this for like 2 days ahead. And for this, I need to buy this and this and this. And then I would like other day, and I would have some room there for like having this like experiment. And I would think, okay, if I buy like this like kale, I would buy double and then I can like just repeat with something else and that's it. And I actually like, and by helping myself, I was like, okay, but I don't want to cook the whole week because this is like, I know that's overwhelming for me. And I would sign up for the you know, like this delivery when that's like the recipe and everything is pre-cut and everything. And I would have like, for example, 2 recipes, like 4 meals together delivered for the week ahead. And I know that, okay, I have this, like when I'm like not lazy, you know, by like overwhelmed by something
Yeah,
else. And like, I just need a solution. Like I need for,
easy.
to stop for someone to think about me, like feeling like a mom, like mom just delivered me something and I just need to do that. And that's it, you know? Yeah. So I would have it. So like, and all this like, and then when I go to the shop with this list, it's like decreases the chances that I would be buying like, oh, because I can go to the shop like in very like tired condition or like in hungry condition, and then it would be like, oh, I'm taking this and like frozen pizza and frozen fries and like I don't know all the stuff, and then you have it at home, and when you don't know like what to cook, you're like, oh, I'm gonna cook this even if you don't want that. Yeah, so like kind of so my solution like of creating this environment is like thinking ahead and like making this little votes for this like identity, like you said, right, ahead of time, and like helping myself in the future, knowing that I'm not going to be 100% great during the week, and like allowing myself to be
Yeah,
that, like, yeah. So that's what
that's a great,
was helping.
yeah, that's a great example of setting your environment in favor to accomplishing the identity that you want to have of like fueling your body with mostly whole food and fresh meals that you cook yourself, like having the delivery and planning the recipes and the grocery shopping list in advance. This is great. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else wants to share? I think Morgan, you wanted to share? No? Oh, sorry. Anybody else wants to share? All right. So a next question would be, when have you been holding yourself accountable when it comes to food and improving your relationship to it as well? A lot of the time we tend to think that, oh, it's just eating. Like, yeah, I've been eating since I was a kid, since I was born. Yeah. And we don't tend to think that this is like, that should be a priority. But actually, when you think about it, you eat 3 times a day. We need to eat to survive and then also to thrive, not just to survive, but like we need food in our body, so we can't go around it. It's like we need to work with it, but a lot of people are like seeing it as something like, oh no, but I know how to cook, like it's fine, like I know how to boil some pasta and put a sauce in it, but is that really fueling you? But and also when we relate it to business, right, when you're struggling with your business, I can definitely relate. And like growing, setting up like a new business from scratch, not having done it before, you reach out for help, right? You reach out for a coach, a mentor, someone to tell you, okay, do this, and like I'm gonna help you get there. And that creates like an environment for you to be accountable and to be guided to get to your outcome faster. So is it something that for you, you've been putting like on the side, thinking you can DIY it? There is enough blogs, article on the internet for you to figure it out on your own? Or have you already seek like answers? And maybe just even like being on Instagram is already like proof that you're like seeking guidance. So that relates more just to the accountability part. Because I can guarantee you that when it comes to eating and like wanting to change our relationship to food and the way we eat, we'll be like, the road will be blended with triggers all the way. And I know it for a fact because I went through it, and I was expecting, like when I read the book about intuitive eating, and I was like, oh, okay, I have the solution now, I just need to implement it. But of course, doing it first off on my own has been like just a roller coaster of like, oh, I failed. Okay, now I'm coming back to zero. And like having that mentality, which kept me stuck in that cycle. But when I started holding myself accountable, that's when things started to change. And I'm sure that you can realize how much the difference is right now. Maybe you've already signed up for an ebook or a little course online, on an online course about like intuitive eating or just food or health in general. And like you can compare your commitment to eat versus right now. Like those of you who are here right now, for those of you who are watching the replay, you are committed to it because you know you're not doing this alone. And you know there is a time and date to do it together. And that's what holds you accountable to yourself, to your higher self, who deserves to feel better in her body. And that doesn't need to wait and should not be put on the back burner. You can just like raise a hand to like share if you've been holding yourself accountable when it comes to food and like your improving your relationship to food. Yes, no, maybe. Yes, yes. Good. I'm proud of you. And now looking at the environment, how is your current environment keeping you stuck in your eating patterns? That's a big question. Again, feel free to continue journaling on this. It's really interesting sometimes to ask what seems simple question, have like, oh, I was not aware of this. It's just so powerful. Again, the quality of your life depends on the quality of questions that you ask yourself. And on our own, usually we tend to just like go on repeat, like we replay the same movie again and again and again. And so it's when you put yourself again in a different environment, like today, where you're learning new things, you're learning about different perspective around food, that your mindset can start to change and your relationship to food can start to change. Because when your environment is different, when you are hanging out with different people, you adopt their belief, you adopt their behaviors. I'm sure that you've noticed in the past when you start seeing like some friends and then after a while you start speaking the same way, using the same expression. We are like the sum of like the 5 people we hang out with the most. And so when it comes to food and your relationship to food, like you can look and think, okay, what have been like the 5 people that have been like shaping my relationship to food and my body? If all of your friends are like having as much self-judgment around their body and guilt around food and saying, even laughing like, oh, tomorrow I'll have just a salad, like because there was a birthday and you all ate cake, that's not favorable to helping you create that new identity. It's just bringing back your old self. And that's where the power of the community of like doing this together is a game changer, and is what keeps us accountable to ourselves and to our bigger vision, to that higher self that we know is inside of us and that deserves to be seen and take care of, but that layers of trauma and patterns and condition have like encapsulated very strongly in a little dark space inside of us. And it's about when you are surrounding yourself with others, you can start to like peel up those layers, and then bring yourself back to your true self and feel good most of the time. And what I like to share with my explorers is like, we've talked about like the journey going like this up and down, but for me actually it looks more like a, oh my god, there's a big fly. It looks more like a spiral, and a spiral that looks like this, like, you know, you go up and up and up, but when you go up in that spiral, you can see that there are times where you go downward, right? But you're still going, the movement is going up, because we can't go back in the past, so you're like always moving forward, going through that. Maybe you're repeating some patterns, but like you're moving forward. And once you start like noticing and exploring and doing and acting differently, then you can move back upward. And it's all a matter of reducing the time of that like loop, downward loop. It's like when you are supported and you have the accountability, this downward loop that is unavoidable, that is part of the process, gets shortened so that you can spend most of the time, 80%, 90%, 95%, 99% of the time going up and feeling good about your body and taking those decisions that are in line with that new identity. Because at the end of the day, change doesn't necessarily take time, it takes repetition. And it's a matter of how often you're going to repeat those new patterns. Remember like the analogy with the crevasse in your brain of like the Grand Canyon. It's like it's being repeated so many times, that belief around, for example, yourself not looking the way you want and not loving yourself for that. Then it's about repeating that new pattern. And how do you repeat it when it's going to be so easy to slip down the old ways? Is to be surrounded by people who are there to remind you, look, I did that for myself. Like I casted that vote for my identity that we share in common, that we both are working towards. And by seeing that other woman, like, and you've seen like in the workshop chat, how like just seeing other people doing their experiment probably motivated you and reminded you as well. It's also used not only as like an inspiration, but like as a reminder, a physical reminder in your life. Because especially as a woman or as a mom, as an entrepreneur, there are a lot of things that we need to do during the day. And so many things that are on our own shoulder, and that it's so easy to just leave ourselves in the back burner and just like put ourselves last. But you can't feel those other cups, your cups of your business, the cups of your kids, of your partner, if you're running on empty. So it's about changing that dynamic and starting to prioritize yourself. And that when you have people who are holding yourself accountable for that commitment, that's when magic happens. And that's what I've seen time and time again. And I want to invite a private invitee, a guest, sorry. In French, I have the word. Her name is Ellie. She's gonna join us right now. Ellie, can you hear us?
Yes, hello.
Hello, Ellie. I just said, surprise, there is someone coming. They don't know who you are.
Oh, I'm the star.
So Ellie has been working towards becoming an intuitive eater, and is now an intuitive eater. And I've been supporting her for the past year now, mostly through Nourishing Circle. And I know it's always different to hear from someone like me who's been there, and I'm so passionate about it. I've like made a business around it, that it can be a bit distant for you to believe like, is that really true for me? So I wanted to bring Ellie today to just share about how her life was in relation to her food and to her body before becoming an intuitive eater, and now becoming an intuitive eater, and what's the difference, and what was really the truth, and what helped her get there quicker.
Yay. Yeah, so where should I begin? I'm so grateful for Ines. I swear she didn't tell me to say that, but it's really been night and day, my work with Ines. Something that I was struggling with a lot before was seeing good and bad foods. That's been, my whole life with diet culture. Cookies are bad and salad is good. That was something that was a really big source of stress for me. Then I think in general, I was just not trusting myself to make good choices. Again, because, if I had a cookie, I was a bad person for choosing that cookie. So that was, again, just didn't feel good in my mind. And that was a constant worry. Something else that I was struggling in social settings that was even more difficult. Like I would go to a restaurant, everyone would have a salad maybe, and I didn't feel like the salad, but I would have the salad anyway, because I didn't really know what I felt like, or just had a really hard time understanding how to make those choices. What else? Yeah, I think those are the main points. And then now there's no more good and bad. Like it's so interesting because I learned that my body will always crave different things, and if I let it have all the cookies that I want, eventually I go back to other things as well. Like I love Buddha bowls, and I love salads, and I love nourishing soups as much as I like cookies and candy. And so yeah, that's a revolution for me, to be able to just have a cookie completely guilt-free and know that maybe that same day in the evening I will crave a really light soup. I think that freedom is just the best feeling in the world, and I don't have to think about food as much as I used to. I just trust myself much more about, with my food choices. And in social settings also, that's a very recent thing. I think that was with the second journey. So the first journey was the first 3 months, and then the second journey that I was on, I feel like in social settings, it's also so much easier for me to have the pizza if everyone has the salad, but also to have the salad if I crave it. So that's a big thing. What else?
I'm so proud of, like, I've been able to notice all these different steps, and it didn't happen like overnight, right? It was like one experiment at a time. And what do you think helped you stay the track of like keeping on going on that exploration journey? What made it easier for you?
What made it easier is that it was exciting to work on that. You have a really great energy, and you have a way of putting things in a way that feels exciting and that feels also achievable. And for me, the weekly check-in, so the weekly experiment, was really helpful, because I also had a lot of say in what I wanted that experiment to look like. And there were weeks where something was very new for me, and other weeks that was something that I already had in place. For example, eating later in the evening, I already had it in place, so I could choose the option that was really good for me. Every week was I always felt like I succeeded. So I think that was really the best motivation, to see that every week you're just doing great, no matter how much or how little you put into, and you just make it like the way that you put everything is, I think, is a great way to feel that you're succeeding every week, no matter what happens. So, and then obviously to be with other women who are done with diet mentality, I think that is very refreshing. And sometimes I forget, because I have the space with other women who are also looking for other things than just good and bad foods, and who are, I can really feel it when I leave that circle and I have other conversations with other women. I feel really the difference, and I feel really supported in the community. And it's so nice to be able to share struggles, and with the experiment of the week, for example, or to celebrate each other as well, when we know maybe other girls have different struggles, and you know the struggles that because you had them before, and so it's really nice to just cheer each other on. Yeah, and then another thing that I always use is the recipe repertoire, because it's so perfect, because it has cookies and salads and soups and hearty meals and lighter meals. It has everything. And everything, the recipes are great because that they're going to be easy. You're not going to need like a million ingredients that you don't have in your house. So yeah, I think those are the things. Is there anything?
Yeah. I don't know if anybody has a question as well, like a personal question of like the intuitive journey. Feel free to ask now, or you can also, I can put you in contact with Ellie on Instagram if you want to check her out. But I want to respect your time. I know you have to go to work. I don't want you to be late. You just started a new job, and I'm like, can you pop in? So thank you so much, Ellie, for coming here and just sharing your honest exploration journey towards becoming an intuitive eater. I'm so proud of you, and nothing brings me more joy to see that you've been able to completely change your life in the matter of like a year right now, in terms of your relationship to food and to your body. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope this was helpful for all of you making a decision.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you,
Ellie. I think it's always good for you to like see what it's like as like someone who's been going through that experience more recently, and now it's all coming down to you and how important it is for you to decide to put yourself first, because when we want to act, right, it's of course the environment, like we said, all this, but it all is going to come down to your priority. And whether you decide from now on that, I hope that I made a good case that I want you to prioritize your health no matter what, like that should always be the one thing that comes in. But usually we learn more by experiencing not taking care of our health, to realize actually, okay, I maybe need to plug in a bit more time to explore that. And that I've had like clients who are mom entrepreneurs with like a newborn and traveling, who've decided to like invest in their health and in becoming an intuitive eater. And so just to prove you that it is possible. It's just a matter of your mind choosing purposely, what do I want to who do I want to become, and like how am I going to act upon this new identity and cast votes for her. So now you have the blueprint of starting with like the noticing, bringing that awareness and curiosity into your life, to explore, going even deeper into why that don't work, but like we've done that work now, and now it's going to be up to you to explore deeper about how to become an intuitive eater and then act. And we've covered a lot of ground with like habit science and how to set you up for success, even when shit hits the fan, and having that accountability and that environment that supports you casting new votes for that identity. And so if you want to become an intuitive eater and like break free from that diet binge guilt cycle, and make peace with food and with your body, and finally regain that mental space and time that all this worrying is using, and put it into something productive and empowering to you that is growing your business, you have the choice to, you can do it on your own, you can DIY it, and you have the roadmap, you can technically do it. And I want to empower you, and that was my mission, for you to know, okay, what's the way for me to get there. You have the steps. And of course, I'm loving opening the doors to you to join Nourishing Circle if that's something that you feel would support you in that in continuing that self-exploration. I've made it specifically with busy self-employed women in mind, as I am one myself, and for those women who want to prioritize their health in this new year, and to not have to sacrifice time on their business to actually invest in their health. And that's why I made it I made sure that Nourishing Circle works around like experiment, like I shared, to make it not only exciting but also actionable and like very concise, like within 15 minutes of doing an experiment every week, where you don't have to think about, okay, how am I going to implement all those different principles of intuitive eating. I've done the work. I've spent years and hours of crafting Nourishing Circle. It took me literally like 4 years to gather all this knowledge, to put it into a way that is the simplest form for you to act upon all this knowledge, so that you don't have to figure it out, and you can actually speed up the process if that's something you want to do, to become an intuitive eater. And I don't believe in the one size fits all, because that's diet mentality at its best, right? For me, it's all about you and crafting an experiment that is going to be tailored to you, to where you are right now. And that's really the power of Nourishing Circle. That's why Ellie was like mentioning that she was able to change the experiment and really adapt it to her needs and to where she was in her journey of intuitive eating. And taking action and sticking with your intention for this new identity is made simpler in Nourishing Circle, because you are doing that alongside other badass self-employed women like you, who are also like super driven and want to have a positive impact in the world, that are going to be there to cheer you up and also pick you up when shit hits the fan, and that will truly understand you. And that's where they always come back to me and tell me like I didn't know that I was like there was so many other women actually with the same worries, because we just never talk about it in a group setting, right? Like, oh, let's talk it like about all the worries we have about food today. Never happened to me and my friends, at least. But when you have a safe space to really be honest and be like, this week was shit, like this happened, and then everyone is there, it gives me chills just like talking about it. And like, it's just so beautiful to know that all these women, even though you probably never met yet in person, they all have your best interest at heart. It's just a beautiful group of women always that gathers. And lastly, it's more than this. Nourishing Circle is more than just a food program. It's like I've shared with you, it's a self-exploration journey where you embark on, and where you get to learn about yourself. And those tools that you're going to get are not only going to serve you and your personal life and your energy level and your relationship to food and to your body. You're going to take that and you can apply that and empower other aspects of your life as well with it. Because at the end of the day, you want to grow your business. I want to support you do that. And your business needs you feeling at your best, feeling confident, because if you're not confident, it's going to show to your clients, to the way you talk about your business, about everything. And Nourishing Circle is there to guide you to get there in the most exciting and short ways, and to empower you with the tools, and not just tools that exist, but like for you to craft those tools to you, so that they are shaped to you and to your body and to your needs, and designed for you not to rely on me and Nourishing Circle, but for you to continue on your own, and then have such a strong new identity that you never go back to your old self, because you've done all the falling with us. We cast you up and then we bring you back until that new identity is just you. And then it's time to grow even in another area of your life. So the doors will officially open next Monday. And as you are in this workshop, I want to offer you a special advantage, and I'm going to open the doors actually right now, just for you, and with a specific little gift, a little bonus of a private one-on-one call with me to kick off your journey in Nourishing Circle, where we're actually going to go and dive deeper into your mind, have a deep dive of like how your patterns have been shaped, and rewire your belief around that, so that you can start with a fresh ground your journey in Nourishing Circle. And to activate that bonus, all you have to do is, like, after the checkout, you will see being asked a code, and you just have to say workshop, and this way I will know and can add you to the bonus to your card. So that's what I wanted to share with you, invite you in. There is no pressure. Again, it's an invitation. You get to choose. Of course, I'd love to support you if you feel this is the right thing. I'll send you in the chat right now, and I'll send you an email as well, so that you have the link and you can look deeper into how it works and everything that's included. And if you have any questions, I host also like free discovery calls, so we can just go on a call, one-on-one chat, and see honestly, and give you my honest answer if I believe this is in your best interest right now with what you're currently like experiencing in your life. So make sure to share your biggest takeaway from today in Instagram, in the group chat, because I will be giving one free spot in Nourishing Circle, as I promised you, and I will share with you the winner on Sunday, so that everybody has the time to watch the replay and be aware of all this. So again, I want to say thank you so much for you showing up for yourself. You are all amazing women, and I believe in all of you that you can become an intuitive eater, and that you deserve, I know, and I hope that you resonate with that you deserve to feel good, to eat guilt-free, to be confident and energized throughout your day at all time. And I hope that this inspired you to start taking this action and now bring to life this new identity. So thank you so much. Let me know if you have any question right now. I want to say a last word before we wrap up, or even tell something to someone that is here live on how she impacted you, or like feel free to do that right now. Yes, Mathilde.
I already said it in the chat and stuff, but I wanted to thank Barbara. Like she shared so much during every live, and it was super interesting. I guess it helped all of us, and also everyone to share it in the live in the group chat. It was super nice and super interesting. Like how some stuff pops up sometimes that you didn't even think about it, but seeing it in the others, it's easier to see it than in yourself first.
Yeah.
And thank you, Ines. It was great again. And I'm really considering about joining the Nourishing Circle, because last time I was like, oh, it's okay, I can do it myself. And it lasted for like 2 months or something. It was great, but then shit hit the fan. And then you're like, oh, fuck, what do I do?
Yeah, I would love to have you in Nourishing Circle. I'm sure that it'd be a great fit, and that will support you in continuing your journey of kindness and nourishing your body. Thank you so much, Mathieu, for sharing.
Thank you.
Barbara?
I want to say, yeah, thanks. Just want to reply as a thanks. And I also want to say that I'm like, I want to, I share it because the questions were amazing. That's one thing. Thanks, Ines, for like going deep. I love like deep and hard questions. I think that's the best to like actually learn and to transform. But also, this is the first point. But the second point is that I felt like this group is very, I don't know, even though we didn't chat much, but the vibe, it's very open and supportive and very safe, it's like you don't share a lot in like any group, or at least me. And the vibe like of people you bring together is very, very, very like a very good quality. You know, like quality women.
Yes.
Very, very safe, very supportive, very open, very kind, and it like it feels right away. Yeah, that's why I'm also like very considering nourishing circle. I was like, oh, can I have more of this?
You can have it. Yes.
I know.
Like, yeah, it's like
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. And yeah, for me, it's like it's where I personally thrive, like when I'm surrounded by other women just like you, and like just your energy, all of you, like your curiosity, your dedication to yourself. I know we share the same values, and that's what makes us like click all together, because we have those same values of like also being entrepreneurs. We understand each other's struggle even beyond just food, right? In terms of like lifestyle and things we want to seek in terms of like meaning we want to have to our lives. It's a very, very similar. And yeah, having that community in your phone at all time with like Nourishing Circle is just like, okay, I need a boost of like inspiration, or I just need to like vent or like get support, is there literally in your phone. And that really changes everything when you know that you're not alone, because you don't have to do this alone, anything alone. We are social species, and we thrive, even though maybe some of you might be introvert, but like the power of like doing that, especially hard work with others, and make it fun and exciting. That's what like makes the whole difference.
Yeah, I am an introvert.
See,
For
you
sure.
remember it? And she was the one talking all the time.
And when you said that about the mentor, I just thought about the third point, like about the like accountability and like mentorship. I thought like, oh my God, like I have like mentors in like business, and I have like accountability like groups with like, I don't know, like life planning, and like I don't know, I don't really much connect with like moms and like moms group, but like there are all sorts of group. And the only thing when I'm like, okay, in some kind of group, what I was in some kind of group where related to food was like dieting, right, or like sports or something, and it's not like positive, it's like a competition.
Yeah.
And like you need to you have goals, and then like you fail, and all like you know, that's not like what. And then I was like, oh my God, like why I never thought, like this is maybe my biggest takeaway like from today's session. I was like, why I never thought of having like supportive environment related to the food.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
yeah, it's I think we can relate to that. Me too. I was like, why did I freaking wasted 10 years of my life trying to figure this out on my own? Never talking to anyone about it, on top of it, like keeping it like a secret. Because yeah, it's that's what the diet culture creates around us, is like is like definitely like putting and casting, like making sure that we are in like the worst position, so that we can't find a solution and we're trapped in that cycle, so that we go back to them, so that we feed them with our money. It's like 100 billion, I don't know, billion or million, no, billion for sure, the diet industry that makes so much money out of keeping you stuck in that. And that's why you've never thought about it before.
Excuse me, Ines.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you. I actually have to go,
Yes.
even though I'm on holiday. We're going out.
No, of course.
But I want to say thank you so much. And yeah, I'm one of those people who I really need to think like the stuff you give us. And even from Wednesday, I still need to think about it and think, how do I apply it to myself? I can never do things straight away. So I found it really interesting to see how others can pick it up and just do something. But that doesn't seem to be me. But it will sink in, and I'll come up with my plan and, you know, how to explore things. But I've really enjoyed it, and I've loved the fact that you have a great skill at getting people to open up, and I really admire that. So thank you very much, everyone, very much. And it's been great to meet you all, even though in a kind of workshop setting, but it's been really enjoyable. So thank you.
Thank you.
I
Thank you
gotta
so
go.
much, Cynthia. I'll just take
Bye.
a picture for a second. Okay, good. Done. Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Enjoy your
okay.
vacation.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, my turn to say thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I think I will just repeat what Mathilde and Varvara were saying. So first, I will definitely say thank you, Varvara, for open up in front of everyone. That's something that is also harder for me, but yeah. And thank you, Ines, for always be inspiring and asking the good questions, for sure. It's just amazing. The way you put the things and the way you talk about it is just great. And thank you, Mathilde, because without you, I will not have heard about that workshop. So yeah, thank everyone.
Yeah,
And
we did
I
it.
think this is a great community. And as you said, Varvara, I felt like very safe in this community. And also, yeah, it's amazing how I felt okay to share things in the chat, which I don't necessarily share always with new people. So yeah, good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
This is the happy dance. I always do a happy dance with everyone. When we finish something, we have a win. We did it, and we had fun having it, like doing it. So this is my goal is accomplished. I see a smile on your faces. I see breakthrough. It's all that matters to me is to empower you with that knowledge, and now you can take it on and like make your own decision and continue taking care and prioritizing yourself. Mission accomplished. So I'll let you go. I want to be mindful of your time. As per usual, the chat is still going until like Sunday, so enjoy it and make sure to drop your breakthrough so that you can win a spot in Nourishing Circle, and all the details in the email anyway. So sending you lots of love. I'm so proud of you and so grateful for all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.